Last year, the tourist flow in Russia set a historical record. The unfriendly policies of certain countries played a role in people staying closer to home, but only in part. Right now, we're going to tell you how our infrastructure and tourism-related businesses are developing. Up next, our first story. Made in Russia, translations by Eurovision. Mountains and beauty. This all-season resort in the Chelyabinsk region acts like a magnet, drawing in more tourists and athletes with every passing year. For the season, well, about 400,000 people. It's not just the convenient location that helps, but also the infrastructure. If anyone thought that only foreign technologies are involved, that is far from the case. "25 years ago, where lifts, slopes, and hotels now stand, there was nothing but dense forest. Yet through it, they managed to see the potential for skiing. The first ski elevator was only a few meters long. I didn't realize at the time how much energy, how much strength, how much resources it takes to build a resort. And I always dreamed that we'd have a resort. My partner and I have basically went down that road. Well, of course, we borrowed money from banks. I mean, the banks are our main investors. And later on, the cableway was built. By the way, it's Russian, and more on that a bit later. Apart hotels also appeared, which attracted investors as well. That's why we have over 500 investors here at the resort. Quite a team, who purchased some real estate and own it today. Meaning the management company ensures a steady income. And so today, people come from all over the country to ski. Every year, the number of outdoor enthusiasts grows by 25%. There is also one specific factor here that drives this breakthrough. I believe that growing by 25% a year is a breakthrough. It is a program called the Third PE Lesson for School Children. Every year, we bring in about 30,000 kids and get them on skis and snowboards. Also, national-level competitions are held annually, and not just in the winter. In summer, yachting, schools, bike rides, horseback riding. Lots of things. In the next 5 years, the resort expects to see 1 million tourists. For convenience, a special train from Chelyabinsk was launched, and overall government support is, of course, necessary for infrastructure development. For example, a special economic zone will be created in the region. A free economic zone site will be established, right on the border with the city of Chelyabinsk. We have already included 5 projects in this initiative. The total investment volume is 14 billion rubles in the first stage alone. The region is investing over 3 billion rubles in infrastructure. I really expect that the special economic zone in Chelyabinsk will give a serious boost to the development of our region and become a new growth point. Business support also includes preferential lending programs. In particular, a new ski lift is being built, using a loan with a subsidized rate of 7%. However, according to business owners, legislative changes are needed for new tourist facilities to appear on the map. And now we are fighting at the federal level. Today, unfortunately, the law prohibits the construction of permanent structures, even ski facilities, cable cars, or hotels on forest lands. It is basically a paradox. How can we develop tourism while simultaneously forbidding any activity on forest lands? Now, as for the equipment, the new lift is not yet fully Russian-made. There are parts from friendly countries, but the vast majority is manufactured in the Samara region. The group of companies has been designing and manufacturing cable cars for over 40 years. And in 2014, when the West imposed the first large-scale sanctions, they actively started manufacturing equipment that used to be imported. For example, towing devices to pull skiers and snowboarders up the mountain. Everything is based on and utilizes our own proprietary technologies. The first towing unit our company produced was a two-person device. Following that, we developed a single-person towing unit and then a spring-loaded tow bar. More than 24 resorts have already installed these systems. Other examples include conveyor lifts. Specifically, we installed a 150-meter lift of this type in Yuzhno-Sakhalinsk. We have also mastered the production of our own chairs. Our product line includes two-seater and four-seater chairs. We have designed and, as of today, begun manufacturing a prototype of a chair featuring a wind protection bubble. In the near future, we plan to start mass-producing these shortly. The company does more than just design and build. They work on a turnkey basis. This includes their own control systems and electronics. It also covers installation in the most inaccessible areas and ongoing service. We have field crews who are ready to come on site and help perform service or repairs. We also continue our partnership with the operating company after the warranty period expires. Many resorts also have foreign equipment that, regardless of the circumstances, must be kept operational. Areas such as the modernization and technical retrofitting of ropeways have seen significant growth. This allows for extending the safe operational life of the cable car and also saves the facility owner a substantial amount of money, as it eliminates the need to purchase and install entirely new lifts. In general, the level of localization is already 95%. Modernization is ongoing, and the workforce is expanding. Mentors pass on a wealth of experience to new employees. After all, we have built cable cars in the CIS countries, and of course, all across Russia. In 2019, we launched our own line of conveyor lifts. Since then, we have sold and installed a significant number of them. These lifts have undergone numerous modifications and upgrades. Also, I would like to highlight our achievements in 2021 with pride. An aerial tramway in Crimea underwent a complete modernization, including the delivery of new cabins. The years 2022 and 2023 were quite successful for us, which prompted us to push for greater localization of our chairlifts and ropeways. Next, we see an empty space here. We will soon be filling it with our promising new developments. Now, let's move from the Samara region to the Sverdlovsk region, home to a company whose goal is to digitize the tourism sector. And not just tourism. The manufacturers are part of a group of companies that has been automating the retail and service sectors for 33 years. Their first order to develop and implement a payment and access control system for a ski resort was a real challenge. That was back in 2000. So it turns out that was 24 years ago. At the time, it was a brand new segment. Hardly anyone was dealing with ski resorts at all, and there were simply no ready-made products available in Russia. Today, a digital solution is no longer just a ski pass. That is a ticket to the mountain. It now involves facial recognition entry as well as payments for everything, from parking, dining, and accommodation to instructors and equipment rental. I'm holding a ski pass right here. It reads Sunny Valley, Zavyalika, and Stoneflower. We have implemented a unified ski pass across these resorts to make it very convenient for our guests. A mobile app has also been developed. You can view all the resort information, including live video feeds, today's weather, queue lines on the slopes, and all the news. I can also buy a pass and top up my balance right here. The company manufactures hardware as well, machines that dispense wristbands, validators, and antennas. And this applies not only to ski resorts, but also to water parks, stadiums, amusement parks, and museums. Speaking of ski facilities, there are currently about 300 to 400 ski centers, complexes, and resorts of various sizes across Russia. The bars system has been deployed in approximately 160-170 resorts to date. They are primarily concentrated in Russia, but there are also installations in the CIS, including Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, and other CIS nations. We are also entering foreign markets, though we are still at the beginning of that journey. The Russian Export Center is ready to offer assistance to exporters, both those just starting out and those already confidently promoting their business. There are many support measures that continue to develop within the framework of the new national project, from training and participation in business missions and trade shows, to assistance with entering foreign marketplaces and reimbursing logistics costs. Veronika Nikishina, General Director of the Russian Export Center, REC, briefed Vladimir Putin on the development of the exporter support system and their contribution to the Russian economy. Over the past 4 years, through our support measures, we have facilitated non-resource exports worth more than 5 trillion rubles. To be precise, 5,250 billion rubles. This means that every 9th ruble of non-resource exports reached foreign markets with our assistance. We have developed a toolkit for every stage of an exporter's life cycle. Last year, more than 4,500 companies received support. And the export volume has exceeded 1.5 trillion rubles. Manufacturers of sports equipment are also among those supplying foreign markets. Here is an example from the Republic of Tatarstan. At first glance, a hockey stick seems like a simple object. But in reality, it is a high-tech piece of equipment. It features carbon fiber, stiffening ribs, and ultra-foam. But what are the chances they won't bench our hockey players? Here's a hockey stick from Tatarstan to stay in the game. When the famous hockey player Denis Zarapov decided to found a company in 2016, the business plan was obvious: to make a Russian hockey stick, which didn't exist at the time. Engineers could design it, but they needed a domestic composite material. We are part of Rosatom. Zaryad is a member of the composite division. And this is no accident. Rosatom is developing the production not only of composite materials, raw materials, and carbon fiber, which is present here in the stick, in the form of prepregs, a semi-finished product, but also the production of finished goods. And we are one such example. Regarding the use of Russian materials, we use them in our sticks as well. Overall, the stick production process takes about 3 days on average. Prepreg, which will become the composite, is hand-wound following a special scheme. Then the stick is moved to the thermal pressing area, where the real magic happens. The prepreg, being a plastic material, transforms into a solid, stiff stick. Hockey sticks, of course, differ. Pros in the Continental Hockey League, KHL, play with them, but there are also amateur and training versions. We have experience collaborating with federal ministries, the Ministry of Industry and Trade of Russia. We worked on supplying sticks to sports schools. The state also supports us as a Russian manufacturer. And in terms of competitive procurement, we have an advantage as a Russian manufacturer. There was support from the side by the state in terms of scientific developments, and of course our own investments in modernization and expansion of production. Regarding expansion plans, current productivity of the plant is about 50,000 clubs a year. And our plans, essentially, are to achieve multiple-fold growth. I would give an estimate of 2-fold. We can easily expand our production at this site. Demand is growing not only in Russia, but also far beyond its borders. Now, there are customers from Saudi Arabia, from the United Arab Emirates. There are even a few customers from the USA and Canada. Participating in various exhibitions and forums has become a great opportunity for exporters to make a name for themselves abroad. For companies supported by the Russian Export Center, REC, this is free of charge. Our goods have been showcased in many friendly countries. The interest is enormous, and now the main drivers are the Made in Russia festivals and fairs. Since last year, there have already been several of them. In China, in the United Arab Emirates. And now, here in the historic center of Moscow, with the support of the capital's government, the first online sales fair for jointly organized by the REC the Ministry of Industry and Trade, the Roscongress Foundation, and the Agency for Strategic Initiatives. It's delicious. These are the most natural products. In a special pavilion, there was a live stream, during which a popular Chinese blogger talked about the products and offered viewers the chance to buy them immediately on an international e-commerce platform. The event marked the opening of another Made in Russia festival fair in Harbin, China. And here in Harbin, we are very pleased to have been invited to become a permanent partner of the Harbin Fair, as the festival we held last year received very high ratings from Chinese consumers. How will we surprise them? We will surprise them with the sheer volume of products that we are bringing and showing to Chinese consumers. The product range we brought is more than 30% wider compared to last year. And all of this is part of a large-scale program to promote our products under the national Made in Russia brand, which was approved this year on the instructions of Vladimir Putin. Thanks to the Russian Export Center, this has been taking place for several years now. It is a wonderful event that connects our peoples. The Made in Russia Festival Fair. My counterpart, Comrade Kalifin, and I promise to keep supporting events like this that help strengthen relations between our countries. For example, thanks to new initiatives, over 200 manufacturers have managed to enter the Chinese market. Hundreds of companies are already receiving support, including those producing goods for an active lifestyle. One recent example comes from the Nizhny Novgorod region, where they make clothes and shoes for travelers and hikers. It doesn't burn in fire, doesn't sink in water, and it stops the wind. Protective gear. Where would we be without it? Take power engineers or welders, for example. Just look at this beauty. Or transport workers, for that matter, and a long list of other professions. Until recently, much of this was imported, but this company from the Nizhny Novgorod region is actively solving that problem. Clothing and footwear for hikers and outdoor enthusiasts. You know, we have always been much stronger in footwear than in apparel when compared to our foreign suppliers. And cheaper? Yes, and cheaper, of course. I think our prices are definitely 1.5 to 2 times lower than the imported equivalents. The exit of foreign competitors created new opportunities. After all, having operated since 1991, the company, with its 12 manufacturing facilities, has accumulated significant experience. It takes several years to develop high-tech fabrics. This suit is made of 95 to 97% Russian components. This specific fabric right here, which offers these levels of protection, is significantly lighter than its counterparts. And it is produced in Russia. Suits for heavy-duty work on oil and gas platforms in the Arctic have displaced foreign brands. While we have dozens of footwear models, our clothing models number in the hundreds for steel workers, welders, road maintenance crews, and subway staff. There are exports as well, for now, mainly to Kazakhstan. Has there been any support? Yes, assistance was provided. We even have a subsidized loan from the Russian Export Center to supply our production with materials and components, as well as reimbursement for the transportation costs of exported goods. By the way, the Russian Export Center actively supports small and medium-sized businesses. 83 regions have specially created infrastructure of export support centers to promote exporters in the small and medium-sized enterprise SME sector. Generally, I must say that our SME exporters have demonstrated very high adaptability to all the challenges of the recent period, starting back with the coronavirus pandemic. And since 2020, the number of SME for novice exporters, and not just for beginners, there is a useful resource. the MyExport digital platform, which was launched as part of the national project. It is designed to keep suppliers informed about available support measures, how to undergo training, and how to obtain the Made in Russia certificate. It is voluntary. The effect is very simple. The potential buyer perceives the bird in the tricolor colors as a mark of quality, meaning this is not support for each individual brand separately. It is the opportunity to use the Made in Russia brand, which is intended to instill confidence in consumers in friendly markets, that the product is verified, high quality, and meets specific requirements. And it will indeed be verified. Every exporter must undergo the relevant testing and trials to confirm that their product meets this level of quality. More on support. The garment factory is expanding. Subsidized loan rates and partial cost reimbursement proved useful for purchasing equipment. We will end up with a modern footwear factory that won't be inferior to any modern factory in America or Europe, the European Union. Are the volumes known? What are your projections? Yes. After the new workshop is commissioned, volumes will be around 30,000 to 35,000 pairs a month. Although automation is becoming established at the factory, people are still needed, and finding a good seamstress is a challenge. Of course, there is cooperation with educational institutions and regional employment centers. The way we train people is crucial here. And on that note, I wanted to thank the government of the Russian Federation once again. I believe the Professionalitet project is among the top 3 most effective federal projects. It is a very effective measure. We already have 16 college clusters. We will be training teachers from the vocational education system and students too. Over 20 laboratories have already been opened. This includes the Technopark and the Printing and Publishing Center. In total, there will be more than 40 laboratories across various fields of activity. There is another example in the Kurgan region of support for an enterprise, making products that, among other things, can help develop tourism. This machine, with its brutally futuristic look, is produced by a company in the Kurgan region. As you've gathered, it is remote controlled and is already actively helping oil workers. It will go into mass production soon. This electric all-terrain vehicle is equipped with a mini drilling rig for taking soil samples. Incidentally, firefighters have also shown interest in this equipment for extinguishing fires in areas inaccessible to personnel. There is also significant demand from seismic and geological surveyors, specifically for the drilling rig and this machine. But what about tourists and travelers? There is such ATV for them. It's made in Russia. The engine is from a Priora, and the gearbox is the same one used in the Priora. The wiring is all ours. Russian wires, Russian brains. There is a snowmobile, too. This is a worker, a real workhorse, for hauling loads. It drags 1.5 tons behind it through snow on asphalt anywhere. Actually, the company started out 20 years ago with products for ground freezing. Now, there are many lines of business, including moving into the production of electric motors. Well, as of today, we are at the near final stage of launching production. And I think that by the end of the year, God willing, if everything goes well, we will be able to receive our first batch of motors. No man is an island in the business world. There is state support. Machine tools were purchased using subsidized leasing. At the same time, a microloan support program was utilized. This meant the organization could also acquire machinery and expand its fleet. Support measures were also applied to another organization, such as microloans and lease reimbursements. The most significant assistance was the allocation of a hectare of land without an auction for the construction of an industrial park, plus subsidies. These include federal subsidies from the Ministry of Economy and regional subsidies from the regional government. So, in total, $10 million in subsidies was allocated for construction. There are also support measures for residents who will be renting space. For residents, this means low rent, tax breaks, and various support programs. This includes reduced taxes, subsidized lending, and lease rebates. In short, creating all the right conditions. The only requirement is that it must be an industrial enterprise and not a large corporation. It's about supporting newly established entrepreneurs or medium-sized businesses looking to enter new markets. At the time of filming earlier this year, the park was in a high stage of readiness, and it is clearly not the last one. Today, 5 industrial parks are operating in the region, and 3 more are being commissioned in just the next few months. That's 3 more. There will be 8, but that's not all. We are designing and planning the construction of another 5 industrial parks. In other words, infrastructure for business. That is the answer to the question. Such are the stories of companies whose products support an active lifestyle. They are contagiously dynamic in their own growth, ready like climbers and athletes to overcome obstacles and reach new heights.